Hey guys, what is up? Swift here, and today we are going to have another extension to your DIY NAS or your own server. And this time around, we're going to learn how to make your own, host your own Dropbox like cloud hosting system. So basically, once you have this up, you will have your own synchronized folders, synchronized files, etc. And it is up to you how much space you want, as long as you have the amount of disk space on your hard drive, and that will be it. So this is the software we're going to use today. Is basically called Seafile. There are many different softwares out there. For example, there is also another one that is very popular, and that is called OwnCloud. And the reason why I didn't want to use that, as promising as it looked, is basically because its mobile apps requires you to pay a small fee, whereas on the other hand, now Seafile here is completely free. Of course, they do have their business edition, but that's not for us. And for us consumers, we can have a absolutely perfect experience, and everything is gonna be free as well. So Seafile, basically the instructions that I'm going to show you here, walk with you through, is basically very simple, and they are available at the official wiki page of the Seafile and the developers themselves. They have created this tutorial, and it's absolutely easy to follow. So in case there is some things that you don't know, you can basically follow what I am doing right now. So if you are interested to know more about the different alternatives that you can do, you can do a Google search, for example, Seafile vs OwnCloud, and you can just read up the differences, and then you can decide on yourself. But anyway, here we go. Seafile. There are just some few things that you have to have on your server as a prerequisite. This will allow your server to run, the Seafile server to run properly. And so what you want to do here, now all these links and stuff like that will be available at the full written tutorial, and the link to that tutorial will be in the description bar, so you can simply copy and paste. So you will have to have a MySQL server running on your server. If you do not have it, for example for me, we are going to install it by doing so. So we're gonna do a sudo apt-get install mysql-server. Now type in password. So yes, this is going to take some time. So MySQL database server basically requires such a thing to store the username, the password, and stuff like that. There are other ways to go about doing this as well. There is the SQLite as well, but for the more common and popular choice, I would choose MySQL. So here you're gonna set it up. Try to, you have to remember what your password is, as you will have to use it in a while. So you're gonna set it up. As you can see, this is the first time I run this setup, and you just have to follow the instructions. They are pretty straightforward. This is for MySQL server. The Seafile server itself is extremely easy as well. You just have to follow the on-screen instructions, and if you are going to change some of the values from the default values, do remember what the values you change to, so that you can actually successfully connect to your server later on. So let's just let it run here. And while it's running, I'll just show you the website that you're going to get the download link from. So you're going to go to seafile.com, and then you're going to browse to download. Now you're going to find the server for your own OS, and for us, we are under Linux, and we're going to take, for me, I've installed it on the 64-bit system. Yours should be a 64-bit system as well. So depending on which system you have, you're just going to have to select copy the link. So we'll do that in a while. Alright, so now our MySQL server is installed and set up on the NAS. Now the next thing you want to do is to have the following set of packages installed. Basically they are Python packages for connecting to the MySQL database, as well as the Python, the code itself. So you're gonna have this. Again, the code will be available for you to copy and paste at the tutorial website link in the description bar. And if you want to follow the official document they have, you can just click here as well. This is actually what I'm using to paraphrase and then just write out the different steps as far as can tell. See, I'm going to refer you to this quite frequently, as they have lots and lots of details to do the extension stuff to Seafile. Now I'm going to teach you the basic thing to set it all up, but if you want to like customize it further, you're going to have to read the wiki yourself, and it's very easy to follow. So once you have this done, what you're going to do is grab the download link that you have previously. So I'm going to just copy link, and then we're going to do wget. So you just can clear the thing first. So we're going to alright, we're going to go to the root folder for easier kind of setup later. So you can just do a cd/ and then you go back to your root folder. Yeah. So once you have this, you can type in sudo wget, and then you're just going to paste the link of the link to the download, and then you're just going to press enter and wait for your server or NAS to download it finished. Once it's finished downloading, you're gonna have to move it to a new directory of your installation. So depending on where you install the file, for me, I'll just install it in under server. As you can see, I'm going to move the document. Actually, I'm going to create a new directory first called cloud host. Okay, and then we're going to move this into that particular directory. Sorry. Always remember to have your sudo on, especially if you're not running as a root user. So now we're gonna go into the folder itself, and then now we are going to unzip it or extract the contents within by doing the following. You're going to do sudo tar, and then you go xzf, and then the file name. Okay, then you can see it's extracted over here. It's extracted. So now what they suggest, and I would also recommend, is that you shift this into a new directory, so that in future, if you are going to upgrade your system, or as an upgrade the Seafile version itself, you can have reference to your previous installations, and you can refer back or revert back if you need to. So you're going to create a new directory. We'll just call it installed, following their wiki, and then we are going to move this particular file into the new directory. Okay, once that is done, we are good to go, and now we just have to go into the directory, this new directory, and then we'll run the setup script. Now, if you want to, you can manually create your own database, your MySQL database and user, but for simplicity's sake, and this is much the smarter choice really, is to let the script do it for you, and you simply have to key in your what you call that, the root password, as you remembered previously when we keyed in the root password. You just have to key in that into the script, and it will help you to create the relevant database as well as the users. So you're gonna do once you navigate into the folder itself, you can see the different files here. We're going to simply run this particular script here, and to do so, you just have to use your sudo /that file, and it will run. Now all you have to do now is to actually follow the instructions. It's pretty simple, so I'll just go through with you as I'm setting this up as well for myself, and we're just gonna go through together. So server name for mine is Swift NAS. Very simple. Now server IP domain, if you're using your own house network, you probably have your own IP. Now if you are using a within your house network, you simply have to put in your local NAN, your local area network IP address. Do not put your the WAN IP. So for example, it will be one for this server is 0.100. Okay, so default is 1001. You can just enter. I would set everything at this as default because I do not have much services running on my NAS. If you do have other services that are listening on such ports, do correct them accordingly. So why don't you put your Seafile data? Now this is going to be where your files that you're syncing to and from your devices or your will be located at. So for me, I'm actually going into my default server slash cloud host. I don't believe I have. Okay, so for all the rest, you can simply just go default, and if you want to change the port number, and you can, you just have to remember them so that when you are going to open your ports or forward your ports, you can just do the relevant changes yourself. So what is the email address for the admin? Now this is going to be your admin, the user login. The way you log in is through email, and so for my admin email, I'm just going to use my main account. And what's the password? Okay, alright. So now please choose way to initialize Seafile database. If you have created your own database, that is, you manually create your own MySQL database, you can press 2, else you can just press 1, and you're just gonna have to follow the steps. Now this should be default. If you haven't changed anything in the installation of your MySQL server, everything should be default. Now, so what's the password? You simply have to key in and name. Now, this is the part where it helps you to create the different users if it's not available. So for me, I'm just gonna do okay. And to database. All this you can leave it as default. Now you'll go through all the different settings. You can go through them. If you have some things that you made wrong and you want to change, you press Ctrl C and restart the whole process again. Okay, so you can see everything would be installing, and once it is done, you can actually run the server and check it out already. Is that simple. You have to follow the steps. There's no need to worry. If anything is wrong, you just delete and start all over again. So there we go. It is done. So the next thing is obviously to run the servers. What to do here is you have to run 2 different scripts here. Now firstly is you run the main server itself, and this is done by doing so sudo./cfile.sh start. Now this will start the Seafile server, and you can see it started. And to access it through your web browser, you have to start what they call C-Hub, and that's basically the web interface for you to communicate with the Seafile server. And to do so, you do again sudo./chub.sh, and then now you key in the port number that you want your web interface to run on. So for me, as usual, I love to use this number. Yep, that's how cool I am. And sorry, I forgot to press start. Too excited there, too excited. Wrong, it's the other way around. Start and then your port number. Yeah, okay. So you have to remember what port it is. If you do not key in a port, the default will be at 8000. Okay, once we're done, you can actually connect to it already. Alright, sorry about that, I have to do a jump cut. Basically what happened was that because of my firewall, I mentioned earlier, is that it prevented a lot of services from communicating from outside the server itself. So I had to open some of the ports within the server, let it through the firewall in order for it to work. So if you are running a firewall, which you should, do remember to open the ports that you have used. Basically, you will have to take note of 3 main ports. That is your CCNet one, as well as your Seafile server and C-Hub server. C-Hub. The default values are 1001. 10001, and that's for your CCNet. 12001, that's your server, and 8000, that is for your C-Hub, or whichever that you use. For mine is 1337, that is the port that you will have to open on your firewall on the server itself. So once you have that in mind, what you want to do is to basically, you can now visit it as and you will see this login screen. So you can do using your main administrator email that you have created earlier. You can just log in, and this is the main screen here. So the main thing about this is that this is something like your Dropbox web interface or your BoxNet interface. So in case you are on a computer or a device that does not have the relevant apps installed, you can actually visit the website itself, and this is done by, you have to obviously port forward it on your own router for you to access it from outside your local area network. So once you have this done, you basically can see there's some administrative stuff here. You can create new users and stuff like that. So I'll just show you how it works. Basically it works like Dropbox. So you install this app here, you can find it from their download page. So you have to download the relevant one depending on your OS, and obviously if you're using your phones, you have Android as well as iOS versions as well. You can download from the Play Store or the App Store. So once you have the app itself, you're going to add a new account. So you're going to type in your server. Now you will have to create 2 different accounts for your, if you're, for example, using a laptop at home, connected to a home network, and you're connected to an outside network, you will have to create 2 different accounts. One will be linked to your local area network address, and that will be for use at home, and the other one will be your WAN IP, and that is for you to use outside your local area network. So do bear that in mind. So next thing, you can just enter in the account username, the username account that you have, and the password, and it will lock in. Alright, so this works exactly like Dropbox. Instead of specifying a Dropbox folder, you can synchronize any folders that you want across your whole computer or your device. So what you want to do here, for example, we create a new one. I created one here already under Seafile Swift NAS. I'm just going to test, create this new library. Alright, so if this is an existing folder with stuff inside, what it will do is that you will immediately start uploading it to your server itself. Okay, so once that is done, you can see here, previously we have not created any libraries. We refresh the page and we have something here already. So let's say we are on outside, we create a new document. Okay, what will happen is that the Seafile thing will synchronize the files, and you will see it appear here. There we go. This is on your server, and that is on your local area network. Sorry, this is on your computer, this is on the server. So say we want to rename it test2. You will see that the software itself will rename it, and there you go, test2. So say we delete it, You get the idea. It works. Soon it will disappear. As soon as the folder is synchronized, and this will be done in a while. If it doesn't, you can do it manually, but I'll show you that it does by itself. It just takes some time. So if it doesn't, you can just actually just manually press it, but it should work. I've tried it a lot of times already, and there you go, the folder is empty. So that is all there is. Just some notes that you have to take note is of course the firewall thing. If not, the whole thing will not work. And other than that, there is nothing more there is to say. Of course, again, the links to the full written guide and the wiki itself will be in the description bar. Do click on them to read them, to copy and paste the codes. And if you want to further modify the installation or your own Seafile server, do read the wiki page by the developers, and it's very helpful and very simple to follow as well. So I'll see you guys again soon.